Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mitch McVey Show. Take two. We had a take ruined by one of the more dumb, less pivotal parts of the floor here. So, shooting it again. We're going to go straight into the mock draft this go-around. I made the mock draft before. It sucked.
Yep.
So hopefully Andy can come in and make some knowledge happen. So starting off, Kansas City, the joke of the NFL, absolutely awful. Andy Reid taking over. I could see him taking Geno Smith here, maybe, because he gambled on a Big East quarterback and Geno Smith, and it worked. So maybe he'll try that again. But the safe pick here is definitely Luke Joeckel, the mammoth of a left tackle. The left tackle's become
Cornerstone.
one of the most important
Cornerstone of
positions
franchise.
in the NFL. So he's bound to be the next dominant left tackle. So I could definitely see them going there with this pick. It'd be a pretty solid pick here at number one. It's safest bet. Going number two, I'm going to say his name wrong, so I'll apologize in advance. But the defensive tackle from Utah to Jacksonville, Star Lotulelei. Look at him. He knows everything. So I think that'd be a good pick. They need a lot of things. Defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, both. The defense was really rough. So
The whole team was, the whole organization's rough.
So I think that'd be a good pick at that juncture. 3, Oakland Raiders, usually the worst drafting team in the NFL. They're god-awful. But I don't think they'll screw this one up. DeMontre Moore, looked at as a extremely similar player to Von Miller, both coming out of Texas A&M. Dominant pass rusher. They run a 3-4. He'll be great. He'll fit in well. At the 4 spot, Philadelphia would love for Luke Joeckel to fall there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll have to settle for the next best thing, which is the Senior Bowl standout, Eric Fisher. He's expected to move up into the top 10. I think he could even go here at the 4 spot, coming out of Central Michigan. We've shown how important the left tackle position is. It's 2 of them going in the top 5.
And the Eagles had one of the worst offensive lines last year.
Yeah, they're awful. So moving on to the 5 pick, I think this is where the German destroyer, Bijan Werner, coming out of Florida State, I think this is where he'll come off the board. Seen by some people as the next J.J. Watt, dominant pass rusher. Guy just got a motor for days. So I think that'll work out well. Moving on to the 6th pick, I think this is where we'll see the next pass rusher come off the board. The left tackle has become so important because the defensive end has became just an absolute must in the NFL. I think this is where Bacarvius Mingo will come off the board, pass rusher at LSU. They had the 2 great pass rushers on their team this year. I think that's where the faster, more agile of the 2 will come off the board. We'd like to take a pause here in the Mitch McVey Show to show you the competition.
Yeah.
As, they're just lounging around, being a bunch of bums.
Trying to interrupt our great show.
Trying to interrupt the show.
Because we have more views and we're better looking. And
we're in here being the apparent more dominant duo.
all these guys do is nap and eat. And
if
eat
you've
again
ever checked out their show, which I encourage if you're having a bad day and you need a good laugh.
Yeah, just...
Show us.
They only have about 3. They only have about 3 views because really no one wants to watch it. It's awful.
So much of biased sports views.
So moving back into the draft, I think Arizona. They have the next pick. I think they'll also go with the tackle. We'll see the third offensive tackle come off the board in this early in the draft. I think this is where we'll see the other standout in the Senior Bowl, Lane Johnson, come off the board. At 8, Buffalo Their GM, of course, if you didn't know, he came out and said they're looking for a franchise quarterback in this draft, no matter what they have to do. The best quarterback left, of course, we haven't had any go yet, is Geno Smith, West Virginia. The dual threat quarterback has become extremely important in the NFL, and
him and C.J. Spiller in the backfield.
It opens up opportunities.
Speed.
Geno Smith, I don't expect him to be any worse than these other mobile quarterbacks. So moving on, the Jets, another just absolute debacle. I think they'll look for a pass rusher here because they could use everything, but pass rushing's one of them. Calvin Pace is just not getting it done anymore, and really that's what they need, absolutely. So I think they'll take Ezekiel Ansah, the young guy out of BYU.
Brigham Young University.
Absolutely dominant, just huge. He's only been playing football for a few years. New to America, doesn't really know what's going on. So just a boatload of potential you can do with that athletic ability. Moving on to the 10 pick, wrapping up the top 10 here. Well, I think this is where D. Milner will go. Absolute dominant corner.
Yes, he is.
And I think he'll do big things. Might be the best player in this draft.
I think so, too.
Moving on to San Diego, I think they'll take Jonathan Hankins, defensive tackle. They haven't really had a good defensive tackle since who was it left there? They had
Eddie Williams, or no, Eddie Williams was. No.
I don't think that's right.
There's some guy Williams, wasn't it?
It might have been a Williams.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He was a big defensive tackle for them, and I think they need that again. They got that young line going with. They took Legit, however you say it, out of Illinois.
Corley, yeah.
He's a stud. I think he'll blossom. So they got some big things coming for him on the defensive line.
They also might take a wide receiver here.
They could do that.
Depending how
it shakes out.
Yeah.
I think my sleeper pick here would be DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's going to work out well and move himself up the board. Going next, Miami. I don't know how to say his last name either, but the safety from Texas, Kenny Vaccaro. Good thing he's here, Mexican ancestry. He knows exactly what's going on.
I don't think that's Mexican.
I don't know either. But he's, they cut Jeremiah Bell after the season. Don't really have any safeties that I know of.
Yeah.
So
they were kind of a mess too all year.
Yeah, they could use it. They could also use another threat for young Tannehill to take advantage of. But we'll see how that goes. Tampa Bay, they need a corner after releasing Aqib Talib. Trading him, that's right. Rondé Barber's about 90 years old.
Yeah.
So
if you slit his throat, dust will come out.
I've heard that as well. Yeah. I think they'll go Jonathan Banks, the physically dominant corner coming out of Mississippi State. Kind of, coming out of the SEC, didn't really get a lot of notoriety, but he's a great player.
Good competition.
You'll get to see him.
Basically, if you play in the SEC, you're basically NFL ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the level of competition.
The 14 pick, Carolina. They also need a defensive tackle.
Sheldon Richardson.
They're awful everywhere. Sheldon Richardson, guy I hadn't really seen play either.
He's good.
Coming out of Mizzou. I think he'll make a splash.
I could see him going to the top 10 too as well.
I could see him rising. I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
New Orleans at 15. They could always use
defensive help.
Absolutely. They moved to a 3-4 for next year.
Just hired Rob Ryan today.
Yeah. So they're going to need that outside linebacking pass rusher, as has become important to the 3-4 teams in the NFL. I could see them taking a risk on Jarvis Jones here. He's had the issue with his spine or whatever. They're making a big stink out of it. I could see him taking him. But the safe pick is going to be Deion Jordan. If he's from Oregon. If you've seen Oregon play, they're too fast for their own good. So I think he'll be a solid choice here. Moving on, 16, St. Louis. You know, they're going to need to run the ball if they're going to have any success. So that offensive line was atrocious, absolutely awful. I could see, I think Chance Warmack, the
best guard on the board.
He is, and he's just an absolute animal if you've ever seen him. He's a monstrous human being. I think, he's going to be solid in the NFL. If they allow him to let his belly hang out like he did at Alabama, I don't know if that's up to code, but we'll see what he does.
He doesn't care what people think about his body. I respect it.
I respect it as well. He's a great guard.
Oh, yeah.
Next, Pittsburgh. I think this is where Jarvis Jones will come off the board. That 3-4. They've got pass rushers galore. They could always use more. So Jarvis Jones, probably the best pass rusher in this draft if he's healthy. So I think this is where he'll go. For a while, I thought he was going to go number 1 or top 3 at least. So I think this is where he'll slide, but this is where he'll come off the board. Moving on, Dallas. They definitely need some help at the defensive tackle position. I've heard Jay Ratliff's not going to be back. He's been their tackle for a while. And
DUI.
Course, you can't use John Brent because he's a murderer. Or Josh Brent. Excuse me. So I think they'll go Sharif Floyd, Florida, big defensive tackle there. Are they switching to a 4-3? Is that what I heard? Or are they sticking with the 3-4? No, it's 3-4. I'm thinking of someone else. I don't know.
They wouldn't switch to a 4-3 with Marcus Ware.
So I think this is where you'll see Sharif Floyd go, big guy in the middle. The Giants, Chase Blackburn, I don't think he's a good middle linebacker. Maybe they're going to stick with him. I mean, he did rob the Patriots of that Super Bowl, but I don't think he's going to be a very good player moving forward. A little bit of a reach here with, of course, his off-the-field issues and his miserable national championship game. But I think this is where Manti Te'o's slide will end. You're going to see here I'm going to have 3 middle linebackers go in a row. So, any of the 3 could go either spot. So, I think this might be where Teo finds a home. Moving on next, the worst team in the NFL, in my opinion, the Chicago Bears. They're an absolute joke.
Fuck you.
But excuse Pat Skinner's language, Mr. Hitchcock. As you know, he's an awful student.
Yes, you know.
I think they're gonna finally decide that the run with Brian Urlacher's over, and find someone that he can mentor up for a year. So I think they'll take the most athletic of the 3 middle linebackers that I've going here. Alec Ogletree from Georgia came into college as a safety.
Developed into a monster. He's fast. He hits hard. Can cover. Great player. I think this is where he'll go. Next, Cincinnati. Ray Maluga's probably the we're having this is Super Bowl. We're having a blackout. He's probably excuse me. Ray Maluga is probably the worst and he's a free agent
linebacker in the NFL.
Free agent this year too.
So I think they'll
replace him definitely.
Kevin Minter from LSU. I think this is where he'll come off the board. Younger guy. He's the 3rd best middle linebacker available. That's their obvious need. So a little bit, definitely a reach, but we'll see how he works out. St. Louis need someone to throw the ball to. Besides Danny Amendola,
he's not a receiver.
Cordell Patterson, didn't really see a lot of him.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of times.
He's 6'4", fast, good hands, has the makings to be a great wideout. Minnesota, the best team in the NFL, picking at 23. I think Ponder, they need someone for Ponder to throw to.
Yeah, besides Percy Harvin.
I think they'll go Keenan Allen, the probably safest pick at wide receiver, best all around right now. I think this is where he'll go. Indianapolis, Jonathan Jenkins, the absolute monstrosity from Georgia. They need something to happen, so I think this is where he'll go. We got to wrap up here so quick, so I'm going to just spit these out. so this video gets able to be posted. I think actually, we're gonna cut this off. Join us again, do a
Yeah.
two-part on this one.